Hello YouTube, it's Louise, the big head bookworm. Lovely to see you. Hope you're well. Hope you're having a good day, wherever it is you are and whatever it is you're up to. Hello, welcome back to the smallest bedroom in the house, my little corner on the internet, and welcome back to Yarn Chat. Hello, welcome back. Have you had a good week? I hope you have. I hope whatever crafty endeavours you've taken on this week have been fabulous and great. Weather-wise, catching you back up, it is actually a very sunny day. It's not brilliant sunshine, it's kind of a little bit cloudy, kind of big fluffy clouds, a little bit kind of almost misty sunshine, but it's very nice compared to yesterday, which was a grey day. Don't think we had any rain, but it was a grey day. So yeah, here we are, Sunday morning. Well, actually, it's just gone into Sunday afternoon. It's 12:20. I have a bit of a time constraint today because the lad is meeting up with his friends in the nearby town, and I don't know whether I'm dropping him off or whether the husband is dropping him off. And he's meeting up with his chums and they're going to go out for Sunday lunch. Fancy. I don't think I was going out for Sunday lunch when I was 15, not with chums. Might have been going to McDonald's or some such fast food restaurant, rather than a fast restaurant, which you have to kind of hurry up to get to. I have been awake a while, but for some reason the words are not coming. Let's take a moment, let's pause, as I always like to, and light a candle. Bring the energy in. I've got my trusty pear of blackcurrant. This has done very well. There is still some left in it. Each time I light it, I think that's going to be it, but each time it continues. Here we go. Deep breath in. And release. Oh, very nice. We want to do a couple more deep breaths in and releases. That would be lovely too. Let your energy flow. That's really lovely. And if you choose to light a candle with me, that would be even more lovely, because then we can get the energy flowing in all the corners of the world where this is watched. Pop it over there so that I don't catch it, but it is still lit. How lovely. Yeah, so welcome back. This week, a little update about this week. I don't think anything... Yes, say nothing special happened. It was our wedding anniversary, which was lovely. We went out, it was on Wednesday. Yes, it was Wednesday. And we went to a Turkish restaurant and we ate, and my word, tell you what, the service, prompt. Sit down, what you having? Talk to allergies. Yep, that's fine. Still managed it. My lad can't have peas. He can't have pulses or legumes. And I don't know whether I made legumes really crystal clear because the rice that he bought had peas in it. And my boy can't have peas. But he recognised that and just didn't eat them. Apart from that, food was like on the table, super quick. Here, have some more bread. And then here's your main meals. We all woofled and then we're like, oh, I think we were out in 50 minutes. It was, come on. But it didn't feel hurried. It just felt fabulous. And, we'll definitely be going back. The food was yum. So, yeah, we did that. Yesterday, we went to Ely Market, which is lovely. It was a really excellent feeling about that market. It's local. It feels local. It feels like it's people from just the area that are brought stuff, and there's all sorts of stalls. There's quite a few food stalls, and they're interesting food. We had Scotch eggs, which is why we went, because we knew they were going, and they are the best Scotch eggs. And And the husband went and got himself coffee from the place that he likes to get coffee from, and there was other foodie eateries, kind of food trucks around. And there are plant stalls and book stalls, knick-knack stalls, but they're not too bric-a-brac. It's not too much. There is a bit of bric-a-brac there, but there was some lovely jewellery with real flowers, made from real flowers, put into resin. That was really nice. I had a brief look at those. There's all sorts of kind of interesting stalls. I wasn't in the market for anything. The only thing I did actually go and have a look for was the books that I'm trying to buy, but no luck. I did pick up other books and then put them back because I was like, no, you do not need any more books today. That's not to say you don't need more books. You don't need them today. Put them back. Step away from the books, Louise. Step away from the books. I actually looked at some books for embroidery, and there was a knitting book. It was called Sideways Knitting. I've never done sideways knitting. I think it's just doing the patterns, but instead of top down or bottom up, it was sideways. So that was an interesting one. There was Vogue fashion knitting, which I was quite intrigued by. There was a book about fun knits, and they were crazy fun jumpers. I was tempted to buy that, but then I thought, you will never knit any of these. Put the knitting book down. But they looked interesting. Sometimes I like these books because you actually pick up just a technique, or it's a different way of explaining it. I picked up a book for a friend, which I think it looked quite good because it was kind of conscious knitting. So instead of just, it was a way of getting kind of mindfulness in your knitting, and I was tempted to get that for her because she can feel a bit stressy about it, and these were much more kind of simplified patterns, and it's her birthday next month. But I have bought her a big knitting book in the past, and I thought I don't want to keep giving her knitting books because then it's like knit, and she's like, she's doing what she's doing. So I thought, hold back on that. That was it, I think. I did see some cross stitch books, and I was tempted to pick them up. I'm going to Ely on Wednesday afternoon with the son because he's having an eye test because he's convinced he needs glasses. So it wouldn't be tremendously surprising. We've anticipated that he would need glasses at some point because I started wearing glasses from 5. I was long-sighted, and then I was better, and then about 9 I think I started wearing glasses again. 9, 10 I started to go short-sighted, and by my teens by 11 or 12 I was wearing glasses and my eyesight was deteriorating rapidly. I have really very bad eyesight and the husband started wearing glasses by his teens, so the lad is about ripe. And I remember talking to an optician when he was a little boy saying, is it possible that he would need glasses? And he's like, the likelihood is there is some genetic component to it, so the likelihood is yes, he will, but you never know, he might not. And we've done really well up to this point. I think he quite fancies wearing glasses, so that'll wear off. It's all fun until you've got to wear them all the time, and then it's less fun. But he definitely feels that he needs it. So, yeah, that's it. So come in, sit down. Badge up, everybody, to make sure that there's room for everyone. There is always room for everyone here. Everyone is welcome. Whoever you are, whatever you do, whether you do any crafts or not, you are welcome just to come and sit down and enjoy the company. I've gone for a variety of fruit teas today. So my favourite's chamomile, but we have mint as well, and I'm using fresh mint from the garden, so maybe that's what you would prefer. So I think we'll have fresh garden mint as our drink for today. And let's get into the let's get into the yarn chat because I am conscious I've already chatted. It's past and I need to get going soon. So let's, or at least I need to speak to the husband to say, am I going or are you going? So I've got 2 pieces. You'll have seen from the thumbnail, first click today. It's not the best, but quite impressed. Normally it can take me up to kind of 15 to get something where I'm not like that, or I'm not, or you know, whatever. You have to find your. That would be a good thumbnail. I bet you will offer me that as a suggestion. Yeah. Yeah, so I managed to get it first click. I was like, oh, okay, I'll take it. But yeah, here we are. This is my finished Marlborough flower. So this is my Marlborough motif. This is from the Spirit of Flora year-long CAL by Jane Crowfoot, released monthly from Inside Crochet. And we're on our 4th month? 5th month? 4th month. January, February, March, April. Yeah, so this was April's motif. There are some plain motifs, which I was going to do, but I'm not sure now whether I am actually going to do them and whether or not I'm actually going to try and do actually what her pattern is. And I'm even considering doing the first motif, which I said I didn't like, because now I've seen it so often, I'm actually liking it. So I think I might actually do that. So yeah, this is it. So the pattern given is in Stylecraft Special Life DK. And Stylecraft Recreate DK. I am using Stylecraft Special DK. I'm using majority of stuff that I have in my stash and replacing as and when I need to. The reason I did this was because I didn't want to go out and buy. I don't have any Stylecraft Life and I don't have the correct colour for the Recreate. So it would have been kind of £60 to £70 just to get one ball of each, or to kind of get the majority of the pattern, and I decided I would actually use from my stash. So here it is. Kind of part of me is wishing that I had bought a few of the others to kind of give it a bit more depth, because I think they have a bit more of there's a bit more variety in the colours. I think there's they are a bit more speckled, or they have a bit more depth to them, whereas these are very one shade. However, it would have cost too much, and let's be a bit more thrifty. So this is the Marlborough flower. This was an enjoyable pattern. That's not to say it didn't come with some issues. It took me a while to get that blue right, I'll not lie. And that for some reason these petals, even though they're similar to previous motifs, I managed to get completely wrong on the first one and had to rip back. My surface crochet, which is the orange, is not the best either. However, said that, once it's in a big blanket with everything, you are not going to notice any of these little odds and ends. This pink, this blush, I did it completely wrong on 3 motifs. Couldn't work out why I had extra stitches, and so I kind of finagled it. And then when I was doing the 4th motif, I did it right, and I realised I had misread the pattern so many times, and I think I was tired when I was doing it, even though I didn't feel super tired. I think my brain was quite tired that day. I think I was just having a bit of a menopausal fog day, and my brain was not there. And then the next time I picked it up, I must have had just that little bit extra sleep, just that little bit extra space in the old noggin. And I got it. And I think we've all got to admit that there are days where we're not all, automatons. We do have ups and downs in capacity compared to, what else is going on in life. And there's always stuff going on in your life, isn't there? Let's be honest, there's stuff going on in your life. stuff going on in my life. The boy has done his math and mocks. Some of that was a worry about that. So what work worries? And it's ridiculous because I've been in the job now since January, and I do, it's great. It's a really good job, but it's still challenging because I'm still learning stuff. And I remember them saying it takes about a year to 2 years to really feel like you're getting into the, till you kind of bedded into the job. So 4 months in, I'm doing really well. But there are still challenges, especially it's working cross-site. That's my biggest challenge. That is definitely a challenge. The husband started a new job this week. So you can see there's lots of stuff. Oh, this has gone all a bit squiffy. There we go. So yes, there we go. Yeah, it's a nice one. It's a nice one. Here is my finished collection of motifs. As you can see, there is I have done the 4. I think I may have done these a bit baggy. I don't know whether it is the way that the blocker's working. They do feel a little bit baggy. She did say that this this border needed to be quite tight, and I think perhaps it's got too much give. I'm using size 4mm crochet hook, which is what's suggested, or 4.5 as suggested. Perhaps it is just a little bit baggy, the frame. Can you see that? Perhaps it could have been tighter. It's lovely from the back, isn't it? So I have all 4. I do each round 4 times because I am finding that I'm completing all 4 in one go, so that I don't get, so I've done 3 and I've got another 4th, I've got 1 more to go and I lose inspiration, which could happen. I'm doing all 4 because if I make a mistake in the first one, I sometimes can pick it up in the second one, and then I've only got to rip back 1 round, which is what happened with this. I actually found it in the 4th time I did it. Sometimes if it's a tricky round and I struggle with the first time, by the 4th one I'm more fluent, and I find my technique gets better. I have been actually keeping it in sequence. So the first one is the first one that I do each time, but now I'm moving it so that I change, which is the first motif that I do the first time of that round. Some of them are really easy, the rounds, and other times they're just a little bit trickier. Jane has said that she designs it so that the techniques grow, so that you build on what you're doing. So the first couple of motifs are more easy. I think that you can see the pattern of the techniques. You can see, oh, that's what we've done on previous ones, or this is replicating it, or this is echoing it, and so it's easier. But then, as I say, there was that one round it was not a difficult round. My brain just was not working that day. So yeah, so that's that current motif. I'll show you all 4 that I have done. That was a satisfying flump. Yeah, lovely. This blocker I got from Etsy. It's a lovely big slab of wood with some holes drilled in. I'm using these as my pegs, and they are 2.75 higher. There we go. If I need only 2.75 deep ends, they're on my blocking board, but there we go. So I'm using those at the moment to as my pegs. I go through. This was the first one that I did. This was the second one. This was the third. This was the Tudor Rose. I still think that's my favourite. And then this is the 4th. So I've got 16 16 motifs, all completed. There have been patterns released for a further one, because in the first month we had 2 motifs, and so I think I am going to pick that up and try and do that in the next week or two. The next magazine, next edition, comes out on the 25th of May, so I've got a couple of weeks, which means I could do the first motif, and therefore I would be completely caught up, and I would have 20 then. How's that? That's not bad, is it? It's quite a good basis for a blanket right there. I might actually have a go and put them all out later. Take a little picture. So I'll leave those there. Yeah, that's really cool. So that's the first thing I had to show you, and that was my crochet thing. So let me show you, as I can say, I'm only going to do 2 things today, keeping an eye on the time. I'm going to do my second and last thing. I'm not going to do a new thing. Well, this is actually a new thing. It's a new starter in this bag, which you can get from the wool warehouse when you order wool. This is the wool that I ordered for, let me show you the pattern, which I printed off, which I did show last week. Good Bunny by Susan B. Anderson. It's paid for pattern. It's the second in her Good range. She's done Good Bear, and this is Good Bunny. And this is how far I have got. I received the wool, I think Thursday, but I didn't do anything on Friday. But yesterday, I did this. And doesn't that look weird? It looked very bizarre when I was halfway through it. But there we go. This is the beginning of the body for the Good Bunny. Ajinada quilt. So the wool I ordered. The wool I ordered is this wool. I ordered a grey as my base. I didn't want a cream. I wanted to do the grey base. And I got Drops Merino. Drops Baby Merino mix. Superwash treated extra fine merino wool. I didn't realise it was superwash treated. So I have to say it's not quite as woolly wool as I had anticipated. I was a bit like, oh, but it is super soft, and I think it has actually made this very nice toy. I just wonder whether you can see my increases and decreases a bit much, but then do we really care? No. So I got, let me show you the colours that I got. Get my delivery slip from the wool warehouse. This is light grey, colour number 22. It's a 50-gram ball, and this cost me £3.35. There you go. What other colours did I get? I got heather. Oh, that's not heather. Is that heather? Let me have a look. Yes. I got heather. It's a lovely colour, isn't it? I got purple orchid mix. That's nice. I got North Sea. Lovely. It's kind of a teal. Very nice. Very nice. And I got Bordeaux. Oh, that's quite a lovely. It's a red, but it's almost moving. It's a very deep red. Not quite claret. I don't know. Almost red and kind of towards the kind of orange mix, orange spectrum. So these are the colours. I think I only need 4 colours, so I think I've got an extra colour. So that's the colours I've got for the clothes. So I don't know whether I will use all 4 or whether I'll use 3. We'll see. I definitely think I will be using maybe those 3. This is the query one, I think, but we'll see. Yeah, so those are my colours, and I think they go quite nicely. Can I balance that? Yeah, I think they go. Yeah, they go, don't they? That's a nice little connection. So these will be the clothes colours. I'll put the delivery note over there, and that's my. I've got to use this. Still got loads of this. I think it does actually say how much she uses of each colour. So it's about 20 grams in total that you use of the main colour. Then the dress is in a medium blue, so I'll use that. Pants, old fashioned, is heathered copper. Oh, so I think I'm going to use that for that. Underskirt, a lot of clothes, is that. And then if I do the bonnet and the shawl, I might use that to go with it, but it depends on whether I'm actually going to. I'm going to do the bonnet. The shawl is the one that I'm not sure I'm going to use. So I've got to do the ears and the arms. That's all I've got to do for that. So I'm going to have definitely got to have enough for another bunny. So yeah, that was one day's knitting. I've stuffed it. It does say what to stuff it with, but I just used whatever stuffing I had in the house. Simple instructions, super clear. You knit one leg, leave a long tail, then you knit another leg, and then you knit across, and then you sew up the in-betweeny bit, which was, I actually kind of did a darning stitch, and it's actually come out really well. And then you start stuffing the legs, and then you knit up, and it tells you to decrease and increase. And it says not to overstuff it and then make it quite flat. So I've tried to not overstuff it and try to make it quite flat. It feels very nice. And then we've got the head, and then you knit up the back, and then it's very clever construction. I think it was easier for me because I'm used to knitting socks, and there are techniques in here that I use for when I knit my socks. So it was very familiar to me, some of the techniques, and I was able to do that whilst watching the television last night. I stopped knitting when it came time for Eurovision, and I switched to something else because I thought I'll make a right mess of this. And I just finished off the nose this morning because that's where I was left to this point, and I just finished that off this morning. So there we go. So I now need to pick up for the ears, which I think must be there. And there is a technique for picking them up with some clear pictures. And then I pick up the arms there. It's very well done. So yeah, and then I do my French knots for the eyes. Because I'm giving this probably to a little person, I didn't want to use safety eyes because they're under 3, so it just is easier to do French knots, and this is where the French knots will go. So she tells you exactly where to put the eye placement, and I'll do the eyes and the little mouth and the nose, and then that'll be my bunny will be made, and I will start on some of the outfit. So cute, really lovely, really splendid. The only needles I've used so far have been these Symphony Knit Pro Symphony. Gosh, they're long. I wish I'd gone for a slightly shorter DPN in length, because these are about 20 centimetres and I do not need them this long. These higher, this is normally what I get. I normally get smaller DPNs, and for something like this, the smaller DPNs would have been more useful. However, I wanted wooden. These are bamboo. The reason I wanted bamboo is that it is grippier, and so when you're doing something that's fiddly, it means that the wool doesn't slide off. Whereas if I had used these or had used the metal DPNs, the wool would have just slid straight off. It would have been, I'd have been chasing the wool. When you get down to doing, when you get down to having 4 or 3 stitches on each needle, and you're doing it in the round with DPNs, it gets a bit slippy, and it's very easy for stitches to slide off. However, with bamboo, they don't move. Even this superwash merino didn't move off, because that was my concern. Why I was like, oh. However, my addies are metal, so whether or not I'll end up trying to buy some wooden different sizes, I might well do that. Good thinking, actually. Thinking out loud. Yeah. So there we go, friends. That's what I've been working on. I have actually been working on other things this week, but we are limited by time because I've got things to do. Boys to take to places so that they can have lunch. I think we're getting to the age that his social life is going to be better than mine. I definitely think I can see that coming. So he's next Sunday. I might be, well, I'll probably still record, but maybe I'll record on Saturday actually, rather than Sunday, and upload on the Sunday, because he's going to hopefully have a friend come over and stay the night. They're going to have pizza and play games and have pizza and ice cream. Yeah. So there we go, friends. That's what I've been working on. Sorry, just banged you. That's what I've been working on this week. I have worked on something else as well. Again, another new starter. So what I was thinking I might do next week is I might do a whip down, because a lot of people are talking about Me Made May and kind of Stitch Mania, and there's a lot of people kind of doing lots of whips at the moment, and I thought I might do a whip down where I'll go through a lot of my whips. However, I thought that might scare me. So I might not. I might go through some of my whips. So we might go through some of my whips which are up there in various bags. A lot of them I am actually currently working on. I like a variety. I kind of like to work on one project for some time, but then I might move off for a little bit. But I have got a lot of things on there that I could show you. I've got my cardigan that I'm still working on. I've got socks. I've got other things. Yeah. So might do that next week. What are you working on? Let me know down in the comments. Thank you very much for everybody that likes and subscribes and does the YouTube thing. It makes a difference if you like or comment, because then it kind of moves, it kind of gets suggested, I think, and we get more people coming, more people that perhaps don't feel that they are accepted elsewhere. They know that they are accepted here. So yeah, please help yourself to another fruit tea. Mind you, there's only so much fruit tea you can have before you need a wee, isn't there? Let's be honest. Yeah, and I hope you're doing well. I hope you have a lovely week, and I'll see you next week. This has been lovely, YouTube. Let's do it again. Bye.